Hello students, we have studied reproduction in human being. We have covered the topic adolescence and puberty. Today we will study different reproductive system in male human beings and female human beings. So today we will study reproductive systems. All of you know that in human beings sexual reproduction takes place, and in sexual reproduction two parents are needed. One is male parent, this is the sign of male, and the other is female parent. Two parents are needed. These produce, both of the parents, they produce gametes. These gametes are also known as germ cells or sex cells. In male, the male gametes in human being are known as sperms. And this is in brief the structure of sperm. Here nucleus is present, which has DNA having all the genetic information. This is the middle part or neck. It has lots of mitochondria to supply energy for the movement of the sperm, and this is the tail portion. By wiggling the tail, this sperm moves. As you know, the male gametes in human beings, they are motile. They have to swim or they have to travel up to the site of fertilization in female reproductive system. So the neck having mitochondria supplies energy. This is the nucleus for genetic information, and here is the tail. So this is in brief the structure of sperms, the human male gamete. The female side, ovum or egg is present. This is bigger in size. This having stored food in the cell, and this is the nucleus where all the genetic information is present. So male and female gamete, they fuse to form a zygote. These are N or haploid, and this zygote is diploid. This is formed by the fertilization of male and female gamete. So a diploid zygote is formed. This zygote, after fertilization, it starts dividing, form a mass of cells. This mass of cells then form embryo. This embryo then form fetus, which is attached to the uterine wall, and this fetus, after 9 months of gestation, give rise to baby, and human child is born, and the gestation period in human being is 9 months. So this is how in brief the sexual reproduction in human being takes place. Now we will study both the reproductive organs in male and female human beings. I have drawn the figures here. This is the male reproductive. This picture is of male reproductive system. So there are many parts. Some parts are for direct production of sperms or the gametes, and the other parts in this system, they help in these sperms to reach at the site of fertilization in females. So the main is this testis. This is testis. The plural is testis and singular is, the spelling is different. The singular is TIS, the plural is TES. So two testes are present in human male, and these are for the production of sperm. At puberty, these starts secreting a hormone, testosterone. This testosterone is under the command of pituitary gland in the brain. So the secretion increases of testosterone by these testes, and this testosterone, it functions two ways. First, it helps in the production of sperms or male gametes in these testes, and second, it is responsible for secondary sexual characters at puberty. What are the secondary sexual characters in boys? We have discussed production of hairs, then many others. So broadening of this shoulders, then this Adam's apple, then pubic hair, then body hair, mustaches, facial hair. So these are the secondary sexual characters. Those are also under the control of these testosterone, which starts at the time of puberty. So two testes on both the sides of the abdomen, they are present in males. This structure, the bag-like structure where the testes are present inside, which known as scrotum. This blue line, the bag-like structure, it present outside the abdominal cavity. It means testes are hanging outside the abdominal cavity in males. Why these testes are present? This scrotum is for safety. And why they are outside the abdominal cavity? Because sperms need a temperature lower than the body temperature. Suppose the body temperature is around 37 degrees Celsius. So for the production of sperms, to around 2 degrees less temperature is needed. So when the testes are present outside the body, they have a cooling effect and the temperature is less here. So these testes, they are present into fleshy bag-like structure known as scrotum. So testes is the main part of the male reproductive system which helps in production of male gamete or sperm. This is one thing. Now the other parts of this system which help in these sperms to reach at fertilization sites are this red color line tube, it is vas deferens. This red tube, a tube-like structure starting from the testes, going here and reaching here. This is known as vas deferens. So this vas deferens carry the sperms formed in the testes to this green color duct or tube known as urethra. This is urethra, the red one is vas deferens. So what are these red structures and this blue structure? This is prostate gland. Prostate gland, and these red one, they are known as seminal vesicles. Two are present, so these two, they are known as seminal vesicles. So what is the function of prostate gland and seminal vesicle? When the sperms, they are traveling through this vas deferens, what happened? Some secretion from seminal vesicles, they are poured in the duct, and some secretion from prostate gland also, they are poured in this tube, and later this vas deferens, it connects with the urethra. So this a common tube is formed, and the secretion of seminal vesicle and prostate glands, which is a fluid, it mixes with the sperm. So now the sperms are in a fluid, and this fluid is known as semen. The secretions of prostate gland and seminal vesicle is also for nutrition of the sperms. They also give nutrition to the sperms and also give a fluidy substance to the sperm so that they can flow easily or travel easily. Now what is this urethra? Urethra, this is the urinary bladder. This structure is urinary bladder, which collects the urine from the kidneys. So this blue duct, it is coming from the kidneys. It is ureter. All of you have studied kidneys and this system. So this is ureter. It is coming from the kidneys. This is urinary bladder. The urine is collected here, and from this bladder, this green one is the urethra, from where the urine comes out of the body. So with this urethra, this vas deferens also connected here, and now this urethra is the common passage for discharge of urine as well as for discharge of this semen. So this urethra goes inside this penis, and semen and urine both are come out of the body from this urethra, which forms a common passage for both. So this is the male reproductive system. The main function is of testes, production of sperms, and these productions come out through this testes out of the body, and now they will travel to the site of fertilization in female members of the human beings. So this is the male reproductive system. Now we will see this is the female reproductive system. Very simple. Have different parts again. Some of the main part of this female system is a pair of ovaries. These red one are ovaries. A pair of ovaries are present, which are connected to this triangular shaped structure, which is uterus, or commonly known as womb. In females, womb or uterus is present, and these ovaries are present. These ovaries, they are for the production of female gamete, and this female gamete is ovum. It is known as ovum or egg. So these ovum or egg, they are present inside the ovary. You must be surprised to know that when a baby girl is born, at the time of her birth, when she was even in her mother's womb, thousands and thousands of immature eggs are present in the ovaries of a baby girl child before her birth. So immature ovum which are present in the ovary of the baby girl, they start maturing when she gains the age of puberty. So at puberty, what happens around the age of 11-12, each month one immature ovum, it matures, comes out of the follicle, and it is ready to fertilize. So each month, alternatively, 1 month this side of ovary, the next month the other ovary, the next month the other ovary. So alternatively, each month one ovary matures a single ovum. It is present inside the follicle. Some time is there due to, and many hormones they are used to mature the egg. So when egg is matured, what happens? It comes out of the ovary and it is shed into this funnel-like structure. This funnel-like structure is known as fallopian tube, or it is also known as oviduct. So every month one egg, it is shed, it comes into this funnel-like fallopian tube or oviduct, which is the site of fertilization. So how this egg enters this fallopian tube? So you can see the structure of this fallopian tube. On this side, it has a funnel-like structure. This is funnel-like structure, and many outgrowths are there. These are known as fimbriae. So this hair-like structure or fimbriae is present on the mouth of this funnel or oviduct, and they catch hold the egg. Once the egg is released, it is being caught by this fimbriae, and many hairs are also present on the walls of this oviduct, and they push this egg to the oviduct. Now the egg comes here inside the oviduct once it is released by the ovary. 1 month, one egg is released. The next month, the next egg will be released by the other ovary. Once this egg comes into the oviduct, what happens? What are the other structures of this female reproductive system? This is the triangular part. It is, I have written already, uterus or womb. This is cervix, and this is vagina. So what happens once the egg comes to the oviduct or the fallopian tube? The sperms from the male system, they enter through the vagina. This is the sperm. They enters through the vagina during the sexual intercourse, and they find its way through this womb, and they come to the oviduct. Once the sperm reaches the oviduct, here is the unfertilized ovum or egg. Fusion takes place, or we can say fertilization takes place, and this sperms fuses with the ovum. Once the fusion or fertilization takes place, zygote is formed. This zygote, which is formed in the fallopian tube starts multiplying, and after when it is a few-celled structure known as blastocyte, then it travels back to womb and implants itself in the wall of uterus. At this time, the wall of uterus is spongy, thick, having many blood vessels for the nourishment of this fertilized egg or zygote. So after fertilization, in 3-4 days, this fertilized egg or zygote, after multiplying for fewer cell division, it comes in the uterus and implants itself or attaches itself to the uterine wall, which is spongy and thick, and it will give nourishment to the fertilized egg or zygote. So the nourishment is being given by the uterine wall, and now this zygote attaches itself with the help of a structure known as placenta to the uterine wall, and it is here for 9 months, which is gestation period, and after that, due to rhythmic contraction, the childbirth takes place. So now we should know how it is attached to this wall and what is placenta. So the structure, a disc-shaped structure is formed here in the uterine wall known as placenta for giving nourishment to the developing embryo. For the first 3 months, the developing zygote is known as embryo, and after 3 months we call it as fetus. And when the fetus is produced or a child is born, then we call it a baby or child. So I have drawn 2 structures for placenta for you. So placenta is a disc-shaped structure. This is the overview, this is the front view, and this is the umbilical cord. This is known as umbilical cord. This is known as umbilical cord. So this cord is attached at the navel of the child, and on one side this is attached to the placenta. This placenta is disc shaped. This is the fetus side, and from the other side it is attached to the mother's body. So this is a front view or overall view, and these blue and green, they are the blood vessels. This placenta is richly supplied with blood vessels, and this umbilical cord is also richly supplied with blood vessels. And this is a section, or to know what is the placenta, this is the fetus developing inside the uterus. This is uterus or womb, this is fetus, and this green duct is the umbilical cord. This red color structure is placenta. This is the mother side and this is the fetus side. What happens in brief, just in 2 lines, I want to explain, nothing more is there in your syllabus. This placenta, on the inner side, it has these projection, finger-like projection, or you can say villi are there. So like this, these villi are there on the inner side or towards the fetus side. This structure is villi-like structure which are present in the placenta. These villi, they are richly supplied by blood vessels, both arteries and veins. So, and around these villi, this red is, it is the mother's blood. It is mother's blood. So these villi, they are surrounded by the patches with mother's blood. What happens due to these projections or villi, the surface area increased, and from the mother's blood more glucose and oxygen, it is being absorbed by this villi, and they are transferred through this umbilical cord to the growing or developing fetus. So this placenta is for nourishing the developing fetus through these villi. So arteries and veins both are present. They absorb glucose and oxygen and transfer it to the developing fetus. Now this fetus also produces some toxic wastes. It is having metabolic activities, they are going on inside the fetus. So some toxic wastes are produced, and these wastes, they are also come through this cord and these villi into the mother's blood, and from here they are taken by arteries and veins to the mother's body. So placenta serves for nourishing the embryo and for taking away the toxins or the waste from the body of the embryo. So this placenta, it is disc-like, embedded in the uterine wall, and it helps, it is there for the 9 months, and it helps in the development of a fertilized egg to a full-fledged baby. So this is how reproduction takes place in human being. Now one more topic is left, that is known as menstruation. This is an important one. What is menstruation? Menstruation is a process which takes place every month in human females after puberty. So at the age of around 11 or 12, each girl or each female, human female, it counter with this process of menstruation. Now what is this menstruation and why it is there? So I have just told you, this is the egg. If it gets fertilized, then this fertilized egg come to the womb or uterus and attaches itself to the uterine wall, which is now spongy, filled with blood vessels and nourishment. But suppose this egg does not encounter sperm, it does not fertilize, then what will happen? If the this egg does not get a chance to fertilize, then what happens? In one day it will die. It comes to the uterus and it broken away. It dies, and the wall of the uterus, which is prepared for nourishing this fertilized egg, is now useless. The uterus prepare its wall, a spongy wall, the lining, before fertilization takes place every month in anticipation. If fertilization will be there, there will be a place to attach the fertilized egg. But if no fertilization is there, then this whole the lining of the uterus is a waste. So when the egg dies, if no fertilization there, then this lining of the uterus, it starts breaking away. There is no use. So slowly this breaks away in the form of blood and mucus. And this blood and mucus, it comes out of the female body through cervix and through vagina. And it is there for 2, 3 or 4, 5, 6 days. And this period is known as menstruation or periods. And every month this happens, because every month ovary gives one egg, and if it is not fertilized, then breaking up of lining is there and menstruation is there. Next month this ovary will give an egg, and if it is not fertilized, then and again the same process will repeat. So menstruation is the process which periodically repeats every month, and in the form of blood and mucus, all this wall broken up and come out of the body of the female. This is known as menstruation. So this is all for sexual reproduction in human being. We have done reproductive parts, the placenta, the menstruation, and in the next lecture we will do reproductive health in human beings. So this is all for today. Thank you.